All right, ready for a deep dive? Today we're tackling Pumapunku.
Pumapunku, yes.
It's one of those archaeological mysteries that just grabs you.
Absolutely.
High in the Andes Mountains of Bolivia, this site, it just has these massive stones, so precisely cut.
Yeah.
And they're arranged in ways that honestly seem impossible for ancient civilizations.
Right.
And on top of that, the local legends surrounding Pumapunku, oh, they're wild.
Oh, they're fantastic.
They might make you rethink everything you thought you knew about history.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe even chickens.
Chickens, now that's intriguing.
Right. We've got local legends, some archaeological findings, and we can even look at other ancient sites for comparison.
Okay.
Like the pyramids, Göbekli Tepe, places like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But our main question today, how is this incredible structure built with seemingly impossible technology thousands of years ago?
Yeah, that's the big one.
So Pumapunku, it's high in the Andes Mountains of Bolivia.
Over 12,000 feet above sea level.
Wow.
It's a harsh environment, very treeless.
Can't even imagine.
It's a plateau, really, windswept. And there you find these just gigantic andesite stones.
This is andesite.
Yeah, it's a type of volcanic rock.
Okay.
Some of these stones weigh over 100 tons, and they're fitted together so precisely.
Like how?
Exactly. It rivals modern engineering, the accuracy.
It's like finding a perfectly assembled, IKEA cabinet on top of Mount Everest.
Uh-huh. Yeah, kind of.
Okay, so archaeologists have used carbon dating and what we know about the Inca Empire
Right.
to estimate Pumapunku to be around 2,000 years old.
2,000 years.
But then you have these local legends that talk about a much, much older origin.
Oh, yeah.
They push it back a staggering 17,000 years.
17,000.
17,000, that's a huge difference.
It is. And if the legends are even remotely true, well, then Pumapunku would be contemporary with places like the Sphinx and Göbekli Tepe.
Which, of course, already challenge our conventional timelines of civilization as we know it.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, let's talk construction. These stones, they're mind-boggling.
Yeah, they're incredible.
Even with today's technology, lasers, diamond-tip saws, all of it, it would be a huge challenge to replicate what we see at Pumapunku.
Oh, for sure. The precision, the scale, everything.
So how do they do it thousands of years ago? Supposedly with very primitive tools.
Well, that's the question that has baffled everyone. Archaeologists, engineers, everyone.
Yeah.
Think about it, quarrying these massive blocks, transporting them.
Across miles of rugged terrain.
High altitude, too.
Oh, right. And then shaping them with such accuracy that they interlock perfectly.
Seamlessly, often without any mortar.
It just seems impossible.
The logistics are just staggering.
And then there's those H-shaped blocks.
H blocks.
Scattered all over the site. They look like, giant Lego pieces.
Yeah. Giant ancient Legos.
And they fit together so precisely.
They do. It really points toward a system of prefabrication.
Prefabrication.
The components were made off-site and then brought to Pumapunku for assembly.
It's like a massive ancient construction kit, thousands of years before IKEA.
Right. It's amazing. But the big question is, who designed this kit?
And how do they have this advanced knowledge?
Exactly.
And now, this is where those local legends get really, really interesting.
Okay, lay it on me.
Okay, so some stories say that Pumapunku wasn't built by humans at all.
Okay.
They say giants with supernatural powers, built the whole complex overnight.
Overnight?
Yeah, and get this, they say the giants used tools made of, wait for it, chicken bones.
Chicken bones? Come on, that's got to be a joke, right?
Right, it sounds like something straight out of, a Monty Python sketch.
It does.
But it does highlight just how mysterious that craftsmanship is. It's like the technology is just totally alien to us.
Beyond our understanding.
So here we are. We've got this site with crazy precise stonework. We've got these conflicting timelines.
Right.
And legends about giants wielding chicken bones. Where do we even start to unravel this enigma?
Well, let's shift gears a little. Let's look at the ruins of Tiwanaku.
Tiwanaku.
It's an ancient city, not too far from Pumapunku, actually. It was abandoned centuries before the Inca even came around.
Okay.
Comparing these two sites, I think it might give us some insights.
All right, lead the way. I'm ready for more. My mind is already buzzing.
Let's go.
Okay, so we're in Tiwanaku now, this ancient city with its own set of mysteries. What can it tell us about Pumapunku?
Well, the stonework here at Tiwanaku is impressive, don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just not as refined.
Interesting.
Not the same laser-like precision as Pumapunku.
Really?
Yeah, it's almost as if the builders of Tiwanaku, they had different tools,
Yeah.
different techniques.
I say.
They were, I don't know, apprentices trying to copy the masters.
Okay, so if the Tiwanaku people, and they were skilled,
Oh, yeah.
if they couldn't replicate Pumapunku, then who could have? It just deepens the mystery, doesn't it?
It really does. And to make things even more interesting, Tiwanaku has these, well, some peculiar features that add another layer to all of this. Ever heard of the Wall of Faces?
The Wall of Faces.
Huh.
That sounds a little ominous.
Not ominous, exactly. Just imagine a wall and it's covered in these carved human faces,
Hmm.
each one unique. They seem to represent different ethnic groups.
Wow.
It's like a snapshot of the diversity of the people who lived here, a mosaic of humanity, frozen in stone.
It's like a prehistoric Facebook, but with more chiseled jawlines.
Haha, exactly. But wait, you said different ethnicities.
Yeah,
Well, most of them, they'd be the indigenous peoples of the Andes, right?
right.
Which is why one particular face is so interesting.
What do you mean?
It stands out from the rest. Its features, well, some might say it looks like, a classic gray alien.
Well, hold on. Are we going down the ancient alien rabbit hole here?
Let's not jump to conclusions.
Go ahead.
Just saying, this particular face on the wall, it sparked a lot of debate, a lot of speculation.
Right, fair enough. But speaking of peculiar features, what about that bearded statue? Didn't you say something about a statue that didn't quite fit with the local population?
Ah, yes. The central god statue of Tiwanaku. It's this towering figure, full beard, flowing beard. And it's right in the heart of a civilization where, well, facial hair wasn't exactly common.
It's like finding a penguin in the rainforest. Totally out of place.
Well,
So how do we explain that? A bearded god in a place where people didn't really have beards.
$1,000,000 question. It's fueled so many theories. Some scholars think it's symbolic.
Symbolic how?
Maybe representing a god from a faraway land or a different time. Others, they say it could be evidence of, I don't know, cultural exchange, migration patterns we haven't fully uncovered yet.
Okay, so we've got a wall of faces, maybe with an alien cameo.
Uh-huh. Okay.
We've got a bearded god in a land of clean-shaven people. I feel like there's a connection here, something that could help us understand all this.
You're onto something. Connecting the dots, that's key when we're dealing with the puzzle like Pumapunku and Tiwanaku. And if we look at the bigger picture, there's this really fascinating possibility. Remember the Sumerian civilization?
Vaguely. Mesopotamia, right?
Yeah, one of the oldest known civilizations over in the Middle East.
That's thousands of miles from Bolivia. What could the Sumerians possibly have to do with Pumapunku or Tiwanaku?
Well, the Sumerians, they had these really detailed tales about the Anunnaki.
Anunnaki.
Powerful deities who came down from the heavens to earth. They were looking for gold, supposedly. And here's the thing, they're often described as tall, bearded figures. Sound familiar?
Okay, now I see where you're going. The bearded god of Tiwanaku, the Anunnaki, that's a bold connection, but I kind of see it. Is there anything else linking these two cultures?
There's one more piece to add to this puzzle. Archaeologists, they found a bowl near Pumapunku.
A bowl.
Yeah, and it's got these symbols that look a lot like Sumerian cuneiform writing. Cuneiform is one of the earliest writing systems, wedge-shaped marks on clay tablets.
Wait, Sumerian writing in South America. That's like finding a Chinese takeout menu in ancient Rome. How could two civilizations so far apart in time and distance share something so specific?
It is a remarkable connection. It's led some researchers to suggest that Pumapunku, maybe Tiwanaku too, they had contact with a civilization that was way more advanced than we thought.
Okay.
A civilization that could travel vast distances, influence cultures across continents.
So maybe Pumapunku wasn't built by giants with chicken bones.
Mhm.
But if we're thinking about the Anunnaki, these powerful beings from Sumerian myth, what was the purpose of Pumapunku? What was its role?
Ah, another great question. It's puzzled everyone for decades. Was it a temple, an observatory, or could it have been something else entirely? Something we can't even comprehend with our limited understanding of ancient tech.
It's mind-blowing to think about. But before we go too far down this road, what about all those shattered stones at Pumapunku? What happened there?
You're right. The destruction at Pumapunku, it's a crucial part of this puzzle. And it raises the question, what could have been powerful enough to shatter these massive stones?
Was it a natural disaster?
Maybe.
A war between, I don't know, rival groups? Or was it something even more, I don't know, extraordinary?
Those are all good questions we'll explore in the next part of our deep dive. We'll look at the theories surrounding the destruction of Pumapunku and what it all means for understanding this ancient enigma.
Okay, so we've been through the ruins of Pumapunku and Tiwanaku, seen that wall of faces with the possible alien, and we've talked about the bearded god in a place where, well, people didn't seem to have beards. We even thought about ancient astronauts and connections to Sumeria. But let's get back to those broken stones. What could have caused so much destruction at Pumapunku?
It really is a puzzle, and these weren't just random breaks, you know?
Right.
It seems like there was some kind of force, a powerful one, that was intentionally unleashed on this site.
Like someone or something wanted to dismantle it, to erase it from history almost.
Yeah.
But who and why?
Well, remember, we're talking about a place that could be older than most of our recorded history.
Right.
Think about all the things that could have happened in that time.
Yeah.
The power struggles, the conflicts, civilizations rising and falling.
So maybe a rival faction threatened by what Pumapunku represented.
Possibly. Throughout history, knowledge has been a dangerous thing.
Yeah, something to be controlled, maybe even destroyed. So Pumapunku, a victim of its own advanced nature.
It's a thought. Or maybe it was a natural disaster, something huge.
Oh,
We know the Andes have earthquakes, volcanoes.
right.
Maybe some cataclysmic event just shattered the stones, left Pumapunku in ruins.
That makes sense. But wouldn't there be, I don't know, more evidence for that? Volcanic ash, signs of earthquakes?
You'd think so, yeah. But we are talking about thousands of years.
Sure.
Erosion, sedimentation, all that stuff. It could have covered up the evidence, left us with just these fragments.
So many possibilities, so many questions without answers. It's almost too much.
Yeah.
But if we think about everything, the construction, the timelines, those strange artifacts, the destruction, what does it all mean? What's the story of Pumapunku?
I think it tells us that Pumapunku is more than just some old stones.
Okay.
It's a doorway to a past we don't really get, a past that makes us rethink what ancient civilizations could do, and maybe even rethink the whole story of humanity.
Like it's whispering secrets, you know, across thousands of years. But the more we learn, the more we realize how little we actually know. It's kind of humbling.
It is. Pumapunku reminds us that what we think we know about the past, it's always changing. New discoveries can turn everything upside down, and there are still mysteries out there waiting.
Maybe one day we'll have the technology, the knowledge to truly understand Pumapunku. But for now, we've got this awe, this wonder, and this need to keep searching.
And for anyone listening, if this deep dive has sparked your own curiosity, I encourage you to look into Pumapunku, explore the theories, make your own conclusions. Because the best part about archaeology, it's not just finding answers. It's also about the questions that keep us going.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Pumapunku, remember, the past isn't set in stone. It's a story that keeps changing with every discovery. Keep searching, keep asking questions, and never lose that sense of wonder. You never know what amazing things you might find.